bullshit. Anybody gets in our way, we drive right through them.
Taylor Sheridan has his hands full with multiple hit TV shows, but wouldn't it be awesome if he also found time to write another Sicario movie? Sheridan has built an incredible career, creating shows like Yellowstone and its spin-offs, 1883 and 1923, along with Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, and Landman. His track record speaks for itself. He's easily one of the most successful TV writers out there. But let's not forget that before Yellowstone, he also made waves in the movie world with critically acclaimed films like Sicario, Hell or High Water, and Wind River. Sicario, in particular, was such a strong script that it caught the attention of director Denis Villeneuve, who turned it into one of the best action thrillers of the past decade. The film currently boasts an impressive 92% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and is often listed among Villeneuve's best work. A sequel, Sicario: Day of the Soldado, was released in 2018, and ever since then, fans have been hoping for Sicario 3. If it's ever going to happen, the dream scenario would be Sheridan and Villeneuve teaming up once again to complete the trilogy. The first Sicario followed FBI agent Kate Macer, who gets recruited by government operative Matt Graver for a high-stakes mission against the drug cartels. The team, including the mysterious Alejandro, travels between the US and Mexico, navigating a brutal and morally complex war on drugs. The film featured an all-star cast with Blunt, Brolin, Del Toro, and Daniel Kaluuya, and it struck a perfect balance between intense action and thought-provoking storytelling. Sheridan and Villeneuve's collaboration was a huge reason why the first movie was so successful. With Yellowstone wrapping up its main storyline, now would be the perfect time for Sheridan to revisit the Sicario world. And with Villeneuve finishing up Dune Part 3, he might also be open to returning to this franchise. Their schedules could finally line up, making Sicario 3 a real possibility. If Sheridan and Villeneuve aren't both involved, then honestly, what's the point of making Sicario 3? The sequel, Sicario: Day of the Soldado, was decent but didn't live up to the first film. Sure, Brolin and Del Toro returned, but Blunt and Kaluuya were noticeably absent, and that was a major loss. The first film worked because Kate Macer gave audiences a relatable perspective, while Alejandro was more of an enigmatic force of nature. Without her, the sequel felt colder and less gripping. From a critical standpoint, the numbers speak for themselves. Sicario scored a stellar 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, while Day of the Soldado dropped to 62%. The action was still solid, and director Stefano Sollima shot some amazing sequences, but it lacked the tension and layered storytelling that made the first film special. This just proves that if Sicario 3 is going to happen, Sheridan needs to be the one writing it, and Villeneuve needs to be the one directing it. Even though Day of the Soldado wasn't as well received as the original, a third Sicario movie was announced after its release, with Sheridan attached as the screenwriter. However, the project, which reportedly has the working title Sicario Capos, has been stuck in development limbo for years. No one seems to know if it's actually moving forward or not. Villeneuve has hinted that he'd be interested in directing Sicario 3, but only if Sheridan is the one writing it. In early 2024, he even said, "Taylor Sheridan is one of my favorite screenwriters. If Taylor is writing a screenplay, I would be absolutely excited to see that on screen. But I haven't heard anything about a new script or project. Nobody has talked to me about that. That means no one has officially approached Villeneuve yet, but if Sheridan writes it, there's a good chance he'd sign on." Josh Brolin also gave an update on the project a few months after Villeneuve's comments, saying that Sicario 3 is getting closer to actually happening. So while it's taken a long time, it does seem like there's hope. And if a third film does get made, the best-case scenario would be Sheridan and Villeneuve coming together once more to deliver an epic finale to the Sicario trilogy. Furthermore, I think that Sicario 3 should happen with Denis Villeneuve directing. If there's anyone who could elevate Sicario Capo and bring it back to the same high standard as the original, it's Villeneuve. He's already proven with Dune Part 2 that he's one of the most talented and sought-after filmmakers in Hollywood today. The difference in quality between Sicario and Day of the Soldado speaks volumes about how much Villeneuve elevates the material. The first movie, directed by Villeneuve, holds an impressive 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, an almost unheard-of score for an action thriller, while Day of the Soldado dropped significantly to 62%. Given that Taylor Sheridan wrote both movies, it's clear that Villeneuve's direction played a huge role in making the first film such a masterpiece. Bringing Villeneuve back for Sicario 3 could be the best possible move for the franchise, especially if the goal is to conclude it as a trilogy. With Dune taking up so much of his time over the past few years, it's understandable why he hasn't been available. But now that Dune Part 3 is in early development, there's a small window where he could potentially return to Sicario. The advantage here is that he wouldn't be shouldering the entire weight of the project alone. Sheridan would once again be writing, allowing Villeneuve to focus on crafting the perfect visual and emotional tone. He could give Sicario 3 the unforgettable ending the crime series deserves. If the plan is to continue the franchise beyond a third film, Villeneuve could at least set the tone and steer it back in the right direction. That's why the latest update about Sicario 3 is so disappointing. After years of speculation and hopeful rumors, fans are still waiting for confirmation that the movie is actually happening. While actors like Josh Brolin have hinted that it's in development, there has been little concrete news about its production timeline. The longer the delays continue, the more likely it is that Villeneuve moves on to other projects permanently, making his return even less probable. And that brings us to the biggest obstacle: Villeneuve's packed schedule. He already has multiple movies in early development, including Dune 3 and a rumored historical epic about Cleopatra. He's also expressed interest in making a movie about nuclear war, meaning that even if Sicario 3 moves forward, it would be incredibly difficult to align with his schedule. At 56 years old, he's at the peak of his career and carefully choosing his next projects. If Sicario 3 isn't fast-tracked, the window for Villeneuve's involvement may close for good. His unique blend of slow-burning tension, breathtaking cinematography, and deep thematic storytelling made the film stand out from other crime thrillers. If Sicario 3 really wants to deliver on its potential, the best-case scenario would be Villeneuve and Sheridan teaming up once more. Until then, fans can only hope that the right pieces fall into place to make it happen. And that wraps up today's video. If you want to stay updated on all the latest movie news, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. By doing so, you'll stay in the loop with all our future updates. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.